Welcome everybody. My name is Markus Vähälä, hailing from Kukunori, Finland. I'm from Citizen Network all around the world, all the time. Welcome to No Labels, No Walls Action Monday. And I would love to present our host today, Kevin.
Hello, good afternoon, morning, good afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I am Kevin. I'm from Connecticut, USA, and I'm just happy to be a part of this meeting as always. So let's go around the horn. Thank you, Marcus. Let's see. Riku, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I just draw this.
Wow, very nice.
It's a sci-fi dream I had just the other night, and like to put it on paper. So
good. Keep it up. Keep it up. Good to see you. Good to have you here.
yeah.
Layla, how are you doing? You're muted.
I'm very well, thank you, Kevin.
Thank you for joining us.
No,
Alistar. Oh, Alistar, how are you doing?
Hi all. Hi Kevin. I'm doing fine. I'm up in snowy Aberdeen.
Yeah. You're lucky.
Bit of a change from the beautiful weather we're having last week, but it's good to see you all here.
Okay. Good to see you too. Tuye, how you been?
Hello, Kevin. I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, glad you can join. Michael, how are you? See, you're on a roll.
We're doing good. We're doing good. We're on a walk, but really excited to be here. And yeah, looking forward to this.
Hello, Michael.
Hello, Mike. James, how are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Okay. And I hope I'm getting this name right. Elia? Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Ilya. I'm from Kiev, Ukraine.
Good to meet you. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Awesome. I mean, I'm ready to pass it over, but I do want to say hi, Lois. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well, thank you. Happy to be here.
Good to have you. Can't wait for today's discussion. And Stacy, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm having a little connectivity problem, so I'm turning off my video when I'm speaking, but very, very happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Like I said earlier, what matters is that you're with us. Okay, I guess I'm ready to pass the mic over. Let's begin.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevin. So hi, everybody. Like I said, my name is Lois Diggs, and today I will be explaining the International Logic Party and a platform called Egora, and also meetings that we organize with that called Citizen Assemblies. I have been with this initiative since November of 2020, and I'm very happy to share it with you today. But first, I want to show you who here is going to also be speaking about this initiative. Stacy is here. Hey, Stacy, do you want to say how long you've been with it and what you do here with Egora?
Yes, I have been with Egora since October. And I run a couple of meetings. I participate in many meetings, and I network with people. It helps with everything that I do.
Thank you so much, Stacy, and also James.
Hi. Yeah, I've been doing citizens assemblies actually quite recently, just in the last 2 months, and I'm really in love with it. So I'll say more about that in a second. But I'm in New York, and I'm very interested in citizens' assemblies of all kinds and democracy. I'm done.
Thank you so much, James. So most of us do value our emotions and the healthy expression of our emotions. But you may have noticed that when political discourse and policies are driven by primarily emotions instead of by logic or critical thinking, then we see we can run into problems. And so seeing that, the International Logic Party was founded as a political party not centered on certain ideologies or practices, but instead grounded in simply logic and rational thinking. And so we can move forward in a way that is logical and effective. So, and out of that grew this platform called Egora, and I'm going to show it to you in a second. I'm going to share my screen, so please give me a moment here. Okay, can everybody see what I'm sharing here on the screen? All right, I'm seeing a nod. That's good news. All right, so okay, so Egora here is called the worldwide stock market of ideas. And as you can see by the artwork and the lettering here, it is inspired by Greek philosophy and ideas. It takes ideas from Greek democracy and improves upon them. So this here is the homepage. And what we do is we go ahead and enter. Now, the registration process here is meant to be very simple so that accessibility can be possible for as many as people as possible. All you need is your name here, your nation, email address, and password. And one thing that we do here is that you have the ability to identify with whatever nation that you are most connected to or most active in, including nations that don't have sovereignty right now. For example, you could put Tibet here, for example, or other colonized nations, or even the Kingdom of Hawaii, things like that. But anyway, I'll go ahead and enter my credentials so you can see what's in here. All right, so there right now, this is a number of users that we have. And as you can see before, there are a variety of nations from around the world. And for here, for example, you can see USA, United States of America. They all may seem to refer to the same thing, but they're different because people can decide for themselves how they want to be identified. So these nations could consolidate to the biggest one here, for example, but it's up to the people to decide because this platform very much emphasizes democracy. Okay, now I'm going to show you here how users of this platform can develop their ideological profile. This is my profile, and as you can see, you can develop your political philosophies out of various ideas. And ideas can be classified by relevancy. For example, some are universal, like this one, and some are relevant to the USA. The universal one here is universal basic income. USA is one of the few countries that's not on the metric system. So here I added to my idea profile that we should switch to the metric system. I want to draw your attention to the two different numbers here. There are IDI points and the number of supporters. And you notice that the number of supporters does not match the number of IDI points. And that's because when you choose to support an idea, you decide on how much weight you want to give to it. And I'll show you an example here. So in your profile, you can create an idea. You can say anything that you want, write it out however you want. You decide whether it's applicable to universal or the nation of your choice. Mine is USA, so I can choose either one of these. And then once you have it all written out here, you can assign a point position in your ideological profile. The higher numbers show that more weight or more support, more priority is given to the idea. And you can rank ideas by number here and save, close, and publish. You can also add ideas that other people have written to your own ideological profile. Anybody is welcome to use this platform from anywhere on Earth. You don't even have to believe in democracy, for example. The point here is to share your voice and contribute your voice to help create a better world. It's a really good platform if you have ideas and you want to share them and you want to be heard. So I'll show you another feature on this website. This, if you click on IDI points they have, so you can get a general sense for what ideas are most popular with the people. So this is a great page if you want to find good ideas, good policies to glean from, to learn from, or even to critique or to discuss. What's more, you can sort them by relevance, and you can also search by text. For example, I'll put in the keyword voting and click display, and then you can see different ideas about voting reform, education citizenship, education reform, resource distribution of the commons. All of these ideas mention the word voting. So it's a really great idea to do, it's a really great way to do research and to gather ideas for certain topics, for example. Okay, so another feature here, if you wish, you can declare yourself a member of the International Logic Party and announce your candidacy and to be elected. So I'm going to type in USA here because that's my nation. I'll just put it as an example. I'll click display. And then you can see two people who have announced their candidacy. And it shows score to see, to get a sense again, overall for how well they represent the will of the people. You can click on their names and check out their own ideological profile to see where their ideas are, where they're coming from, what they stand for, what they support. Let's see, one other, another feature here is that we have a main Egora, we have a municipal Egora for cities, and we have a community Egora. I'm going to show you the community Egora here. So here, there are different types of communities, such as stories we should all hear, truths we should all know, shaping culture. I'm going to switch here to my account. I have many of the same communities. You can join communities also by going here, typing it in. For example, I know there's a community called Education Reform. So I can save that and my communities are updated and I can write and share ideas that are in the education reform community. That's just an example. So there are many different ideas written here in this platform in Egora and many, many different ways of finding them and searching for them. I'm going to switch back to the main Egora to show you another key feature of this, and that is the meetings. So this platform is free for anybody to use, anybody to register, and anyone can schedule a meeting to discuss any of the ideas that they wish. You can fill out the topic and comments, schedule it for whenever you want. Right now, since travel and social interaction or spatial interaction is limited, we have online meetings here so far, but in the future, we do hope to have more in-person meetings as well as online meetings so that we have a full enhancement of interaction here. And for example, oh yeah, so the Citizen Assembly Global Video Conference, just wanted to show, this is one that I'm hosting on Monday the 11th. It will be on this topic, we need less education, not more. Some topics can be provocative or interesting or unexpected because this is a free speech forum. So basically, like, nothing is off limits. You can speak on whatever you want to. But it is a free speech forum for people to present their ideas for improving our societies and to deliberate. You can receive feedback and perspective on your ideas, and so that you can improve and refine them. And then also with this platform, connect with like-minded people to realize those ideas. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute here. And I'm going to pass Stacy, since she has been an organizer for a while here, and I'll let
Lois has frozen on my screen. I'm just going to jump in here, assuming it's my turn. And I want to say that Egora Citizen Assembly has opened amazing doors for me. When I first came to Citizen Assembly, I had a website and ideas, and they had hit a roadblock due to COVID. I did not have a way to get my word out. And I was looking for something. I found Citizen Assembly, and it has just catapulted me and my platform forward. I found quality people who not only listened to me, but they wanted my input and participation. Within 5 weeks, I had my own weekly meeting and other meetings that I participated in. My ideas were receiving positive and constructive feedback, and that just improves them 1,000%, I would say. I had worked up my ideas over years, and they still did not reach the level that they have reached now with the input from the quality citizens that I have encountered. And I have found multiple like-minded souls that have come together with me in a new initiative for holistic community well-being. And we have created another weekly meeting, and that is the one called The Crucible, which we upload here on CNTV. Thank you very much for that. We are also in the process of creating a new universal basic income community application. We're really looking forward to that. We think it's going to be something that people everywhere can use. So we will definitely keep everybody informed about that. And I now have a large, dynamic, brilliant community network whose talents I draw on daily. I just wouldn't be without them. We're now connecting with other like-minded networks like CNTV all over the world. So it's not only a local initiative, it's not just local people, it's national, and now it's worldwide. And I can't tell you enough how amazing it has been to get viewpoints from all over the world. We're a little bit isolated here, I think, in the United States, and it really, really helps me with my initiatives. So for me, Citizen Assembly has been a real fast track to idea development and community network building. I recommend it to anyone looking for a better world community. Thank you very much, and I will pass it to James.
Thanks, Stacy. So as I said, I'm new to the Citizens Assembly Egora community, but I've been very interested in democracy promotion for a long time. I've been involved through the meetup of the Citizens Assembly groups, the general one, the women's group, Constitution group, and a new one that I helped start called Plato's Playground, where we discuss dialogues of Plato. What I like about it is the welcoming atmosphere for newcomers to lead. The community that I am still a part of previously, the joining game, that's one of our principles, is to let newcomers lead what we do. And I found that in the Citizens Assembly and Egora community to be a strong driving force as well. So I find that synergy there and appreciate it. I'm interested in creating micro democracies where in groups like this, small groups, we practice the principles of free association and free expression of ideas, as well as I think the larger vision for Egora to create these political parties that allow citizens' assemblies to gather all around the world. I'm also involved in Extinction Rebellion, a group called XR World with the co-founder of Extinction Rebellion, Roger Hallam, and he's also very eager to support the creation of citizens' assemblies locally, one in London, as well as ones that are popping up in different places. And I think that there's just a lot of potential for all these kinds of initiatives. The Egora platform is very interesting to me. It's new to me, so I'm still finding my way around it, but I do have plans to bring some of the community that I'm involved with previously in to the Egora platform. What I like about it initially is just the way that its focus is on ideas, so we can really have a quick and easy sense of where people are ideologically, and then join with people who we have ideas in common with, and engage with other people who maybe think differently than us. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, James. So we also have another person joining us, Abdul. He just came in, but thank you so much for being here. Would you like to introduce yourself and also say a few words about your involvement with this initiative?
Yeah, for those who don't know me, my name is Alasan Abdurazak. You can call me Abdul, and I'm from Ghana. And right now I'm sitting in the upper western region of Ghana. I am really, really so glad and blessed that I came across Egora. I think as far as I can remember, I was 8 years, and I think I've always wanted to do something, to effect good change in my country, and I've always had ideas that I really want to see, to put to work to change the lives of people. But in this country where there is more vice than virtue, a lot of people tend to give up. I've approached a lot of people trying to see how we could create a pressure group to, to demand for one or two things from the government. But a lot of people are timid, so they fall back. But when I came across Egora, and then I realized that it was what I have been looking for all my life, a group of philosophers that into discussing ideas and to see how they can put these ideas through of the people. I was so amazed, and I embraced it with all my life, and it is really helping. I've had so many ideas that I've discussed with some of some of my colleague leaders on citizenship, citizen assembly, and then we deliberate on the idea just to make sure that we like we presented it flawlessly. So it's really great, and I even consider it a blessing, or should I say destiny, that I am a part of Egora, a citizen ensemble. It's really helpful, and I hope through Egora and citizen ensemble, we would not only make change in the Europe or in the countries of all our members where we are so deprived. We are so deprived, and I'm really hoping that we could one day make a change here. An idea with me about education and citizenship, education reform, and it was a beautiful idea, and I loved it, and I wish like that idea could grateful that I am part of this, and I'm really hoping that one day some of these ideas that we have would turn out into reality, and not just words and theories that we deliberate on, but it will turn out into the real. We can apply them and to affect the real beautiful change that we wanted to produce in the lives of people. It's really great, and I welcome all new members to Egora and to Citizen Assembly. I yield the floor.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Abdul. Thank you very, very much. So I will say a few words about how I found this platform and what it means to me. Actually, I originally found this through a meetup event online. There's a website that's used where I live called meetup.com, where you can find events happening in the area. And I saw there was an online event for a citizen assembly, and I wanted to go there because I very much do believe in the power of citizen assemblies. And I did want to try my hand at political philosophy, since I'd been reading about it for a really long time. But up until that point, I had never spoken about it to anybody. So I thought I would try something new and dive in here. And I really, really liked it. I do really, really like it for a number of reasons. But I think one of the key ones for me is that in this kind of platform, you get multiple viewpoints and perspectives from people who think very, very differently. So, for example, if you were part of an assembly aligned with a certain political party, everyone's probably going to be thinking the same thing and being on the same page as you. There are good things about that. It is good to meet with like-minded people, but it's also very powerful to meet with people who have disagreements and contentions with different ideas. And I, for one, welcome that kind of thing, because when you meet people who think differently, it challenges you to be strengthened as a thinker and to refine what you believe in and what you value. So if you're looking for that kind of thing, it's a great opportunity. I have been hosting Citizen Assembly Women since February of this year, and I'm putting the link to the event in the chat in case you want to join and try it out, check it out. You do not have to be a woman to join Citizen Assembly Women. People of any sex are welcome to come. It's just that it is like tailored to women and geared towards women. And the topic again for this coming Sunday will be we need less schooling instead of more schooling. So thank you very much for listening. We can open the floor for questions and comments. I think one person was that Marcus, you asked about the origin, how the idea came about, I think. Was that you? Did you ask that in the chat? I
Yes,
can't
yes.
remember.
Thank you so much, Lois and Stacy and Abdul and James for this wonderful presentation. I'm so excited. I want to know more. And one thing that fascinates me as a Finn coming from a country of technology is with Cesare, we've been talking about this technological background to build Egora and the philosophy behind it. So everything has their own history and story. So from your point of view, could you tell a little bit more about the history of Egora, how it was formed and where is it heading now? Is it free for everybody to use and join?
Mm-hmm. Well, Stacy wrote something in the chat relating to that. Would you care to expound upon that, Stacy?
Yes, Cesare, the founder of Citizen Assembly and Egora, was traveling in Europe, and he came across an Egora, which is a public place where people were meeting to exchange ideas. And he enjoyed it, and he had a different kind of idea about how it could be. He wanted to make it really based on logic and rationality and the exchange of these ideas. So he came back to the United States and he started developing the software, and we have what we have now. So it grew out of the Roman idea for the Egora, which is the public place where people would exchange ideas.
Thank you, Stacy. Does anyone else have any questions or comments about this? Yes, Alistair?
Yeah, I was just thinking that, yeah, a lot of the political discussion, it's become quite toxic, and everybody's become quite entrenched, and nobody seems to be listening to one another. So do you find that having a logical focus rather than an emotive focus helps people to maintain better, more respectful discussions, even if they have opposite views?
I'd love to take that. So in the meetings that I facilitate, I always think that people come as human beings, so they bring their thinking and feeling energy, and you can't really have one without the other. I agree with you that when we fall into emotional reasoning, it's a disaster. But I think there's a difference between emotional reasoning and having connection to our feelings so that our thoughts can be expressed in ways that are clear, even if they're different. It's not necessarily something that's easy to do, but it is necessary. I always welcome in my forums, the ones that I organize, the most hostile, aggressive, disruptive people I can find, because I find that makes it it kind of creates a great immune system for engaging with difficulty. But the point is not to just be screaming at each other and fighting and not listening to each other. There does, you know, in order for us to work together, we have to find some common ground, no matter how small. And I actually think the fact that we're online makes that easier, because free speech and speech, really the only thing that can happen is we get our feelings hurt, and nobody, you know, the potential for actual physical aggression is reduced to near zero. So yes, the topics can be contentious, but we're learning how to engage in a new world where people's ideas can spread all over the world, and we have to find a way to engage with people who think differently and still be constructive about it. And that's what I see we're the point of what we're doing.
Yes, I agree with what James is saying. And it is true that sometimes people do get very like impassioned, or may criticize someone or someone's character, you know, like that does happen sometimes. But the thing that I like about this platform is that there is an agreement to uphold civil discourse and logic, so that when that kind of thing happens, we all agree that we can return to and be reminded of what we gather around and what we're grounded in. So I think like it is much better than what we've been seeing a lot of in the world today. And I like that we are continually improving and continually developing. So you know, it's not perfect, but that's okay, because that means we have somewhere to go and we have a direction and a center. So I would say that it does help in answer to your question, Alistair. Thank you.
Stacy mentioned in the chat about the nonviolent communication strategies. I don't know if Stacy wanted to like talk more about that.
Yes, I would. We did have one meeting that brought out some contentious words within our group. It was a surprise, and we did need to address this. We got feedback from multiple areas stating concern. We collected feedback about what possible ways we could address this. And we came up with one that everybody agreed was valid, and that is nonviolent communication, which is very, very simple, very simply taking these statements that would be attacking people or their character, as Lois said, and changing it into, when you do XYZ, I feel XYZ. And it is just an amazing way to alert people to what is happening without attacking. And I would mention it's not so much when you do this, you make me feel this, but rather when you do it, I feel this. And you would think that that's not enough, but it really is. It has helped us greatly, and it's very simple. Thank you.
I believe Chris has a question. Go ahead, Chris. Chris?
Yeah, hi. It's all well and good to have people who have different ideas, different opinions about all kinds of topic under the earth. Now, if I might ask, how do you plan to arrive at consensus? Because in as much as different people have different ideas, it's always good to be guided, and we all need to arrive at a consensus on a particular issue. Is it a platform where there is no consensus? It's just a plethora of ideas, or is there a methodology for guiding different ideas to consensus.
So this is an excellent question. I think that Egora has great potential to measure the pulse of what people think and what they want first. And then the way to reach consensus is through discussion and deliberation through citizen assembly. Now, with the discussion and deliberation, ideas get refined and clarified and improved. And sometimes that needs to happen before consensus happens. And me personally, I would love to see consensus, but I apologize, my cat. I would love to see consensus, but it's not always possible and it doesn't happen very often. But I have seen it happen through discussion in citizen assembly. Sometimes we came in there with different viewpoints and then we come out of there with consensus, and it's a really great feeling. So if your question is how do we receive consensus, my answer would be through discussion and deliberation in citizen assembly. Thank you.
I don't know if Stacy you wants, or James or Abdul, if you had something to add.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Stacy.
Sorry. I would agree with everything Lois said, and just add that the way I find that we do move forward is when you bring up something and then you have a lot of people come forward with their different viewpoints, you'll find an area that reaches greater consensus, and then you work around with that a bit. And when you have discussed the certain points that you can bring in and you can take out, we end up with something that the most people can agree on. And you'd be surprised how well it really works. Even if not everybody completely agrees, we've come up with something that more people agree after the discussion. I yield.
Thanks. So my learning about formal democratic structures has really increased very rapidly from getting involved with citizen assembly. Something I learned in the Constitution Working Group meeting, an interesting fact that I think is stunning, is that of all institutions, only half of them have been around for more than 20 years. So at a global level, we are actually really still exploring what it means to have a democratic structure. And I think there are a lot of people, certainly in the US, disillusioned and frustrated with the formal democratic structures. And what I like about a citizens' assembly is that we don't have to wait for the structures that exist to meet us. We can take agency and begin to learn and create democratic structures that work for us. Personally, I find consensus to be horrible nightmare to use. I've been involved in Occupy Wall Street, Extinction Rebellion, other groups that have tried to use consensus, and I find it to be quite anti-democratic. I prefer majority decision-making to getting everyone on board with the decision. But that's for everyone to decide for themselves in the group and community and country that they work in. And what I love about learning about constitutions, I've been implementing that learning into the groups that I'm in. So even a group with 5 people, we're writing a constitution for the group. How do we make decisions? How do we resolve conflicts? How do we get rid of someone who is destroying the group? All of the issues that are in common to having groups and making decisions and getting together in a constructive way, we can be empowered to make those decisions and also talk to other people who are thinking about the same questions.
So Marcus and Abdul have questions. I was gonna start with Marcus first. He wants to know about the future of the International Logic Party. Is there going to be registered? Is it going to be registered as a party, and will it be active outside of the U.S.?
Uh, would you like me to respond to that?
Anyone? Yes, Lois, Abdul,
Yeah.
Chris.
So far, with the knowledge I have, with the fair knowledge I have about Egora, I think our aim is not to capture political power. I mean, like not to be a political party as such, but we may, in one way or the other, influence what actions of what parties, because we are there to influence the actions of government. So if, for instance, the parties that are available are not really doing what we expect them to do as an institution, as we are Igora, we may pick out a candidate, then find a way to maybe to put a candidate into any political party, or even if they have to form one, just so the person can get through, just so the person can get through to become to lead the government. But that person, or that president, that person who's going to get to the president and taking up and making all the decisions, would take the ideas from what Igora is going to be the background. For instance, like now I'm here and I am a Ghanaian. Igora wouldn't come here and be a political party. We wouldn't form a political party here in this country and we'll call it Igora. But we would find a way, maybe if the government is not willing to listen to us, if the government is not trying to accept what we are proposing, then maybe we could find a way, maybe either me or someone better than me would come out as a candidate and aspire for the presidential office. You get that? So that with the support and resources of Igora behind that person, just so the person will get into the office and then form the government, and then through Igora the person will be able to channel our ideas and our philosophies in order to develop the country. And the issue of consensus is very important. It is not always that the majority is correct. We could be the majority and yet we are wrong. So it's really, sometimes it's really very important, especially when the situation that we are dealing with is delicate. We need to be careful before we say we make a decision like, let's do this. It could just be maybe one or two people that are disagreeing, that are not in consensus with what the majority is going on with. But it doesn't mean that the minority is wrong, and it doesn't mean that the majority is right. We just need to be careful to make sure that whatever we are doing, whether we are going with the majority or we are going with the minority, in the end, the positive of our actions should outweigh and should overcome the negative impact of our actions. I think that is what is most important here. It is not there's no way any idea will come and everybody will agree to that. We are human beings and we are so complicated, but we are looking at whether you agree to it or you do not agree to it. Let's look at the end result. How is it going to be? Will it be in the best interest of all of us? I know sometimes we have to sacrifice a few for the greater good. I know we should know of all these things, but sometimes we really need to consider the perspective of those that are not in consensus with what the majority is. We should try to listen to them to see how we can we can just reshape whatever decision that we have made a bit to include what the minority, usually those that are not in consensus, so that we will reshape our decision to favor them a bit. They could be right, Being the minority doesn't mean that you are not. Right now, we Egora, we are here and we are worldwide, we are international, but we are the majority, we are the minority. You get that? But it doesn't mean that we are not right. We are very right. And if all governments are going to listen to us, and if all governments are going to finance us, I'm telling you, we are going to change the world for so many generations to come. But you know, it will take so much. So I think we should consider, you know, every aspect of our decisions before we finalize it. I yield the floor.
Thank you. We have 8 minutes left. I know James had his hand up. If you wanted to say something quick, or
yeah, just really quickly to this question about the future of the International Logic Party. Where I am in Syracuse, New York, we have the Green Party. I've been involved with that. We ran a presidential candidate, Howie Hawkins, in the Green Party, and got nowhere. All right. He, you know, I know him personally. He comes to my backyard and we talk about politics, sometimes with just 5 people in front of a fire. There's no point in just running candidates just to feel good. I think the goal for me is to create spaces where we can build a people's movement, and at the core, a political party is getting together with people who share your political vision. That's what's fundamental. Running for political office and registering your political office follows very easily from that, but we should be looking at the current political situation realistically. And at this point, we're far away from winning political power, certainly in the US, but we need to start right now to build community and connect, network, and develop our own understanding, skills, and organizations.
well, thank you, James. Well, 5 minutes left. Last question or so. Lois, Stacy, James, and what else would you like to say to the international audiences?
Well, I can say, speaking to the future of the International Logic Party and Egora, this is all still very much, it's developing and a work in progress. And I know that the Egora website, there are more improvements and features that are planned for it. And I wanted to say that if you want to contribute to this initiative, we have a fundraiser for developing and improving and spreading our reach to people. So if you want to contribute to that, I put it in the chat. And then the other thing that I wanted to add is that one thing that I also like about this platform is that every user has the option to join a community called My Personal Values, because I have been pondering the idea that maybe we should be supporting governors, politicians, and so forth based on their values rather than like certain things that they pledge to do. And anyone can say that they value something, but with interaction, you can see whether someone really lives by those values and whether their actions back up what they say that they stand for. And so I do look forward to a new kind of politics in that regard as well. I yield the floor.
I'll just jump in and say, I think that there are so many like-minded organizations and individuals coming to the same conclusions that Citizen Network Television has come to, as well as our Citizen Assembly, Egora. There is a a swell of people that are just yearning for what we're doing. So keep up the good work, you guys. Your message is getting out there, and let's keep connecting. This is, it's working. I really believe in it, and thank you so much. I yield.
All right. Should Marcus, what do you think? Should we how do we end this? Oh,
Abdul, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I really want to say, you know, it's a very good initiative that we are together, and I think we should all try as much as possible to invite, especially those people that are in government, that are in public offices, to Egora. I think that is one quick way we can really get to the governments of of every nation, of every country in the world. If we let's say in every government of the world, we have about, let's say, minimum 5 people in government, and they are members of Egora, I think they will be able to, you know, to fight through and to propose and to suggest the application of some of the beautiful ideas that we have here. So I think it would be very nice for us to introduce Egora and citizen assembly to people that are in government that we are closer to, and it should go on that way so that we would really get people and get into the government. I yield the floor.
I think
Thank you so much.
I think
Riku?
Riku wants to say something quick.
Yes, I just believe that your movement should reach a lot of people, and I believe people living under the bridge or streets or just being on the Nation Library or something should be available everywhere in the world to connect in your party.
Here, Riku.
Yes.
I think that should yeah. So what do we have next week, Marcus?
Next week, same time, same place. We have Bob Rhodes coming with us to talk about Live Through Friends, about very interesting things happening or every Monday. Every Monday is an action Monday, and this Monday we were so happy to have Lois, Abdul, Stacy, and James with us from the International Logic Party. Thank you very much for this interesting theme, and I would love to continue this theme next September in the No Labels, No Walls Citizen Fest in Helsinki, Los Angeles, and everywhere that we could do a shared action, as this year's theme is about doing something and doing something together. And I think your platforms provide us a very good opportunity to do that together. And Kevin, as you know the drill, who will be the host next week?
All right. Alistair, are you available next week? Awesome.
No problem.
I declare you the host.
Thank you, Alistair. And this recording will be available straight away in the Citizen Network YouTube channel. And please join No Labels, No Walls Facebook group and Citizen Network members group. And there was a lot of very interesting links there on chat. I will put them online very soon with this recording. So please share this recording with your friends in your networks. And let's meet next week. Have a very nice week, all of you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.